is the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report. I am the Celebrity Medium. It's my job each week to bring you all the latest gossip about your favorite deceased celebrities, and this week is no exception. Former head guy at Apple, Steve Jobs, has had a lot to say about the direction and current management of his old company lately, and he shows no signs of stopping anytime soon. During this past week, we learned that Tim Cook, the man who replaced Jobs at the helm of Apple, has preserved Steve's old office exactly as he left it. One of my Next World sources caught up with Jobs as he had dinner with a lady friend at Tupac Shakur's restaurant and asked him about that. That's a perfect example of what's wrong with Tim, Jobs said. He should be making his own mark on the company, not keeping a shrine to me. I'm not L. Ron Hubbard, Steve added, referring to the founder of the Church of Scientology, which has a replica of Hubbard's office at each of its headquarters around the world. He continued, Apple's not supposed to be like a bug preserved in amber. When I ran it, we were always looking forward, not backward. If I was still on Earth, I'd turn my old office into a storage closet. My source asked Jobs if he wasn't flattered by the honor of having his office kept just like he left it. No, not at all, he answered. Tim needs to put his own mark on the company. I keep saying that, but I guess he hasn't gotten the message, unquote. Well, there seems to be little doubt about what Steve Jobs thinks Apple needs to do in his absence. In previous editions of the report, I've told you about the unlikely romance between silver screen sex symbol Marilyn Monroe and pop artist Andy Warhol. Many in the afterlife were shocked by the couple, not least because Warhol is well known to have been gay on the earthly plane. Nevertheless, the two have shown all the signs of being romantically in love, being seen together at many public events. I've also told you about how former President Ronald Reagan has turned into something of a Lothario in his new existence. Ron has been seen out and about with an ever-changing variety of lovelies in recent days. Now, what do these two stories have in common? Well, quite a bit, if one of my most reliable Next World sources is to be believed. The source tells me that the Gipper has made it known to his circle of male friends that he has set his sights on Monroe. Reagan, who had a reputation as a playboy in his Hollywood acting days, has made a point of showing up everywhere Warhol and Monroe have been lately. Witnesses say he has flirted quite openly with Marilyn right in front of Warhol, basically daring him to do something about it. At a recent red carpet event, Ron greeted her with a long, passionate kiss, leaving Andy fuming. My source tells me that Warhol's friends say that Andy knows what's going on, but he isn't the type to force a confrontation with the former president. Word is that friends are worried about what Reagan stealing Marilyn away from Warhol would do to the artist's mental state. One of the friends says Marilyn was like a muse to Andy when he was on Earth. This is the first woman he's ever been in love with. I don't know what will happen if she leaves him. This is a story well worth keeping an eye on, and we will. Joan Rivers seems to have settled in well to her new existence in the afterlife. According to my sources, she is right back to her old tricks, currently in development for a new TV show to be called Street Style with Joan. In a break from the Fashion Police format of Joan working with three co-hosts, the new show will feature Joan sitting solo on an impromptu set featuring a small stage out on the street. The premise of the show is that Joan stops people wearing interesting clothing and has them walk the runway as she critiques their outfits. I'm told that she recorded a test show recently, and one of my sources who worked on the crew says she was hilarious as she praised and ridiculed the various amateurs who posed for her. In other Rivers-related news, She and her former husband, Edgar, who committed suicide, are now back together. Several sources tell me that the two have been out and about since Joan arrived in the next world, and that they look happy and very much in love. Mazel tov, Joan and Edgar, and good luck with the new show. Now, speaking of Afterlife television, guess who has been offered their very own reality show? Give up? Okay, I'll tell you. It's everyone's favorite odd couple, former President Abraham Lincoln and singer Whitney Houston. It seems to be a week for news about former presidents. The couple that no one ever imagined and no one thought would last will be starring in a new show called The Crazy Life of Abe and Whitney that will follow the two around as they navigate the waters of their unusual relationship. The Next World gossip columns are filled with stories about Mary Todd Lincoln, the former wife of the president, fuming about her earthly plane husband having taken up with the beautiful singer. Now, no one in the afterlife is obligated to spend any of their eternity with their earthly plane spouse, but that's not how the former Mrs. Lincoln sees it. My sources tell me she is enraged that Abe doesn't want to get back with her, and that the producers of the reality show are anxious to include her in the cast. It's rumored that neither Mr. Lincoln nor Ms. Houston is crazy about that idea, which, you can well understand. And with that, we will wrap up this edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report. Please come back next week for the latest up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebrities. I am the Celebrity Medium. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast. To ask a question about your favorite deceased celebrity, call 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-369-3732.